As we approach Juneteenth, parents may be wondering how to explain such a complex topic to their kids. Dr. Jennifer Ross from Akron Children's Hospital joins us now with some strategies on how to talk about the holiday with kids of all ages. First of all, thank you for stopping by today.
Thank you for having me.
All the way up from Akron?
Yes.
All right, now we've been knowing about this since, what, 1865 or something like that?
Right.
All right, why do you think, 2021 it became a federal holiday? Why did it take so long? What do you think?
I think there were a lot of things happening, and because of Black Lives Matter, COVID, I think folks wanted to know, what can we do to make a difference, and how can we bring folks together? And Juneteenth is a great way to bring folks together, to think about freedoms, and to bring people together for unity.
For those who don't know, what is Juneteenth?
Wow, Juneteenth marks the day where folks who were enslaved in Galveston, Texas learned they were free, which is like 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. Yes.
Why is it important?
I think it's important because we have to understand that we're always fighting for freedom for everyone, and everyone can resonate with freedom. What does it mean to be free? And not that we're completely free, but we're still thinking about how do we ensure that everyone have their freedoms protected at all times.
How did you get so involved, and why is it so important to you?
Wow, I've always been passionate about civil rights issues. I worked at the Akron Urban League prior to working at Akron Children's Hospital. I was an educator and a teacher in school, so I understand that everyone's history is not always told. So how do we become more inclusive, right, to ensure that everyone's story is told so that we all can play a role in ensuring that everyone have freedoms?
Now, we're talking about how to talk about Juneteenth when it comes to children, and you've brought along some books. Talk about what you brought with you today.
Wow, we have some amazing books in front of us, and they're for students and children at all levels. We have a book for toddlers, and that one's Juneteenth is a Freedom Day. And then we have some books that I think you can even do with middle school students, right, around Juneteenth celebrations. And so this is an easy way to help folks understand how to talk about Juneteenth, because we don't have to be an expert to talk about Juneteenth.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. Why is it important for families to get involved and for children to know their history?
Wow, I think right now, because often all history is not taught in schools. Right. And it's a way that you can go out in the community, learn about how you can be an advocate or an ally. Anyone can be an advocate, anyone can be an ally. And I think children enjoy learning. And so if we allow them the opportunity to explore and learn, they can think about how they can take part in moving our country forward.
Let's talk about each individual book that you brought with you today. Let's talk about this one first.
Yes. Okay, so Juneteenth for Maisie is a great story because it's a story of this child learning how her grandfather found out, her great-great-grandfather found out he was free. So he lived in Galveston, Texas. So this is a story how you can learn and pass down through generations a historic story. And so she's all about learning about her history and understanding how her grandfather was a part of history.
Incredible.
And so that story is just amazing. Then this is a story for preschoolers and toddlers. Right? And so this is an easy book, really colorful, great images, and I think for children to see themselves in visuals.
Let's celebrate Juneteenth as a
Let's celebrate Juneteenth.
And for, like you said, toddlers and preschoolers.
Toddlers and preschoolers. And it has very great colors and images, and for children to be able to see themselves, I think that's absolutely dynamic.
Okay, and the next one?
Lastly, what is Juneteenth? That's like a history book. So that gives a timeline. It talks about the Emancipation Proclamation. It talks about the different amendments, the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. So that book is a lot more complex, gets a lot more information, but really good yet and still.
Let's go back into history. Why did it take so long for the slaves in Texas to be freed? What happened with that situation?
I think that it was the interest of economy, right? I think that after the Civil War, and during the Civil War, folks wanted free labor. And so they wanted to ensure that they could get that free labor from those enslaved individuals. So it was partly beneficial to them to have folks still working for free for them.
Were you surprised when it became a federal holiday a few years ago?
I was very surprised because in our community, we always held celebrations. And Juneteenth wasn't new. It was nothing new. So there were always community celebrations in the park where people came together. We listened to music. We ate great food. Had drummers come in. And we just had a great time in celebration. And also it was a time for reflection. So to find out all of a sudden that this is Well, one, it became a national holiday, which
This
is a
is one of
great
the
thing.
celebrations here in the Cleveland area,
Wow.
right in downtown Cleveland.
Wow.
What do you guys do down in Akron for Juneteenth?
Wow, there's lots of events. So at Akron Children's Hospital, we certainly believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion, and we're hosting our very own Juneteenth event in our Unity Center. So that's going to be exciting for our employees and families. Akron Urban League, they have a huge Juneteenth event as well, and the Downtown Akron Partnership have a big Juneteenth event in downtown
Now,
Akron.
talk about Juneteenth, the word itself. Now, where did that come
Right.
from?
So the word Juneteenth is because whenever the enslaved folks found out that they were free, that was on June 19th. So they combined
There's a
June
Juneteenth.
19th together to get Juneteenth. Yes.
June 19th, a big time holiday, a national holiday, celebrated all across America, and that's a good thing. And like I said, and you have delved into it with these books, excellent reading for the entire family, because it is a family event.
It is. And everyone can take part and everyone can play a role, right, to reflect and learn together.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Dr. Jennifer Ross, thank you so much for coming up and educating us on Juneteenth. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And happy Juneteenth next week.
Yes, thank you.
More information on Juneteenth events taking place across Northeast Ohio, you know what to do. Go to fox8.com. Fox 8 News continues right after this. Stay with us.